AM 1430 KRGI, good morning. It's 9:05. I'm Brian Gallagher. Welcome aboard. Let's get busy and get a chance to visit with Steve Irwin from Desch Paine Monuments. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. How about you?
Good. I got to fix something here.
Yeah, I was wondering what you're doing.
I bumped something. There we go. Now I think we got it fixed.
Good.
That little technical issue, but it was not beyond my control. All right, let's. Steve's here to talk about memorials from Desch Paine, and he's. We have been talking off mic about genealogy for a long time. Well, he just went on a little tour in Iowa, kind of searching for some of his ancestors, and this is one of the reasons that you have memorials for your family, because you were able to literally trace very deep into your family's history. Tell us more about
Yes. Yeah. My great-grandparents, I found out, were buried over in a little town called Garrison, Iowa.
that. Okay.
Now, I found this, that my father had done some research before he passed away, so I had some of that to go on. But I got on Find a Grave, and anyone can do it, and it's free. And put in the information as far as the cemetery. You have to know the town, and you have to know the county. And you put all that in and hit cemetery, and it'll show you who is buried there. And in this case, there's over 1,000 burials in that particular cemetery, which is pretty small. And all four of my relatives had their tombstones or headstones, whatever you want to call them, that you could hit the icon that says RIP on it. Looks like a old style tombstone.
Okay.
And it brings up their picture of their headstone. So I could have just printed those off, but I wanted to go to the cemetery just to get the feel and the sense of it. And so it was almost 400 miles over there one way. And I did that on Friday. And the background of this, I want to tell people about the background. I think I mentioned this once before. My birth father was adopted. He was born in Blackfoot, Idaho in 1917. His parents were Gladden and Hilda. Her maiden name was Feaster, Fiester, Slater. They were teenagers, and they made a mistake. She got pregnant. They got married, but divorced before my father was even born. So my mother on her own, or his mother on her own, couldn't take care of the baby, so she gave it up to an orphanage in Denver, Colorado. My grandparents, Irwin grandparents, were named Hugh and Meta, and they came from Garrison, Iowa. They were both born there. Well, they could not conceive children, so they went to Denver and adopted a girl named Jacqueline. And my father went and jumped on my grandfather's lap, and they said, "Can we take him too?" And they said, "No, he's spoke for already." And so they asked the orphanage if it didn't work out, would they give him a call and let him know that to come and get him. And that's exactly what happened. About 6 months later, they called, "Do you still want this boy?" And they said yes. And so they named him James K., and that's how I became an Irwin. I wasn't interested in looking into the Slater background. So I've been looking into the Irwin background. My father went to Nebraska Wesleyan, graduated from there, and then went on to Drew in New Jersey for seminary. And that's where he met my mother, who was Elizabeth Falver. She was a native New Jersey, and brought her back here to Nebraska and started his preaching career. And so that's how that came about. So I decided to go over to Garrison and check this out. And I've got pictures, which I showed Brian. So it's kind of cool to do some of that thing. So it's got me more excited now about my ancestry. I don't know if I'll ever get out to New Jersey to do the Falver side of it, but it sure is fun to learn about your ancestors. And I want everyone to know that they can Google any name. You can put the name up online, and you'll get some things to come up. But the best places to go are on different sites such as Ancestry.com. There's others. When you hit Ancestry.com, there'll be other sites that are listed there. So, and Ancestry.com is free for a little while, but you're going to have to pay an annual fee for that. A great website that I mentioned earlier is Find a Grave, and that's free. But I wanted to share this information, like Brian said. If there's not a headstone or tombstone there, you can't trace your genealogy back through cemeteries, and we are seeing more and more people not purchasing burial plots and putting stones out there. And I think it's because of financial reasons. That's what I think is the main reason, and we hate to see that. But Desch Paine has some very small markers. They're flat markers. They're small that are affordable, I think, for most families that want to just mark an ancestor's grave. And I know of 2 that we've done this year already, Brian, where they were born in the 1800s and sat there for 100 years and never been marked. So, so if people want help with a headstone or a genealogy, they can certainly give me a call, and I'll be glad to help them.
We're talking with Steve Irwin. He's with Desch Paine Memorials, and if you have any questions about headstones or any kind of memorial, I mean, there's a number of different things that are available to provide memories for the future, and some of the pictures you have are over 100 years old, so there's definitely life to these.
Exactly. And one final thing I wanted to say that I found very interesting. I just found out after going on that trip and found my great-grandparents. One of his brothers was buried there, and his brother's 2 sons were buried there, and I have pictures of all those. My great-grandparents have 15 children. They were farmers. My grandfather was a farmer. And they had 3 children in 1 year, in 1872.
Oh, my goodness. In other words, you've got a family tree that reaches way out.
Way out, yes. So,
well, I'll be waiting for the continuing saga. I know you've got some savings going on right now at Desch Paine.
We do. This month is buy 1 vase, get 1 free, and that's with the purchase of a monument. So
worth checking out. Make sure that your memories literally can last and last and last. Steve, if they have any questions, how can they get a hold of you at Desch Paine?
Okay, the local number is 384-2422. Toll-free number 800-825-5783. And they can stop by, and our office is located at 3805 Old Potash.
Okay, it's just west of Highway 281. Steve,
Right.
It's always good to see you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks for coming in. Steve Irwin from Desch Paine Memorials.